I think part of the reason that pop culture nostalgia doesn't hit the way it used to is because things don't end anymore. You know, like the original trilogy of Star Wars was such a well for nostalgia because it ended. You know, you got three Star Wars movies and then that was it. No more Star Wars after that. I mean, there was the comics and the games and the tie-ins and the action figures and all that, but there was no more theatrical quality Star Wars content after Return of the Jedi. And when I was a kid, the original Star Wars trilogy felt ancient, and this might make some people feel old, but when I was growing up, right, Star Wars, the first Star Wars, and Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi felt like these ancient texts that were being unearthed and adapted and that you'd better do justice to because, you know, this is like the Bible. You know, this is this classic piece of cinema from the olden days that we're hearkening back to with these new movies. And I remember when the prequel trilogy was coming out, I didn't really see it, I wasn't into Star Wars, but I do remember it coming out, because, you know, it was a big deal. It felt like there was such a temporal gulf between the prequel trilogy and Return of the Jedi. But what is crazy is that there was only 16 years between those two trilogies. That doesn't seem like that long of a time, does it? 16 years ago from now is 2010. Or, you know, it will be in a few days. 16 years ago is Iron Man 2. And while I'm sure there are some people who are nostalgic for Iron Man 2, it's not really the same as Star Wars. Because the franchise that Iron Man 2 is a part of is still going. When the prequel trilogy came out, you know, obviously a lot of people really didn't like it, but there was also this sense of, oh my god, remember Star Wars, right? Oh, this is taking me back, because, like, I remember Star Wars. But references to 16-year-old franchises don't hit like that anymore, because they're still here. Hey guys, remember Iron Man? Yeah, they're still puppeting his corpse. They've been Weekend at Bernie'sing this franchise for the past decade and a half. How can you be nostalgic? It never went anywhere.